All right, I want to welcome everyone to our live Saturday morning presentation. Everyone should be able to see my screen. We're going to be looking at one of the products in Synergy Worldwide called Metabolic LDL. We're really blessed with Synergy Worldwide. They have some phenomenal products. As we all know about nitric oxide therapy, and our product of choice is Pro-Oxidant Plus to be able to harness the benefits of nitric oxide therapy. And as David and I were talking about, there's the Biome Shake, which is when you make the shake the right way, it's not only a phenomenal drink, but also it helps reset your microbiome, helps provide you with great energy, and you're full, you're not bloated, and you find that you have good energy over a long period of time and not hungry. We've got natural energy through the E9 product. There's just a wide range of different products from Synergy Worldwide that just really meet different types of health issues. And the one that we want to look at today is called Metabolic LDL, to help people find an alternative to address cholesterol concerns and provide metabolic support. So today's presentation is a slideshow presentation that I'd like to take you through. And one of the things that I always try and do is I want to narrow down the unique selling properties of anything that I'm going to be promoting to people, helping them to better understand why that product is unique and why they want to use that product. So here are what I feel are the unique selling properties of Metabolic LDL. First off, it's a clinically proven product. That's huge. In the nutrition industry, there are an awful lot of products that are in the marketplace. A lot of those products are made by third-party vendors. So when it comes to third-party vendor products, what you get in the bottle or canister or whatever the container is not necessarily what's on the ingredient list. And it doesn't mean that that product will actually achieve the results that you're looking for. Here in Metabolic LDL, we know that every ingredient that's listed on the supplemental facts, it goes through a process of scrutiny to make sure that if that product was ever taken off of the shelf and the government went and tested it, it will meet all label claims. In addition, this is a clinically proven product, and it's clinically proven to address cholesterol as well as anti-aging issues. It helps to prevent the oxidation of LDL cholesterol. I'm going to come back to this because this is really important to understand. The basis of most plaque formation within your body has to do with vascular inflammation, and vascular inflammation is typically from oxidized LDL cholesterol. This is also a very powerful antioxidant blend. And again, we're going to look at what this means, but antioxidants are important to your diet because they help to fight what's called free radicals. Most cellular inflammation is caused by free radical damage. And so this is a very powerful antioxidant to help prevent that. It's well tolerated. I know of no side effects with this product, and it's a patent pending formula. Now, based on that, there's two primary markets for this product. There's people who have cholesterol concerns, and then there's the anti-aging market. There's a lot of people that want to slow down the aging process. And so we have two large markets for this product. Now let's look at cholesterol concerns. And I tried finding this morning some current data, and unfortunately, I just don't see any current data for the trend in using statin drugs. As you can see from this, taken from JAMA, 2002 to 2003, 17.9% of people who are 40 and older were using some statin drug. 10 years later, there was a 10% increase. And there has been a substantial increase in use of statin drugs because the government has changed the guidelines for how to use statin drugs. Instead of looking at based just on cholesterol concerns, they now look at it with regards to risk factors for heart disease. And so because of that, there's been this increased use of statins in the general population. I don't know the exact percentage, but again, it's something that is significant large number of people are using statins to control cholesterol as well as reduce their risk for heart disease. Now, I took this from the Pritikin Longevity Center. Quote, statins have been clearly shown to reduce blood cholesterol and prevent atherosclerosis or heart disease. They work by reducing the liver's production of cholesterol. They block an enzyme called HMG-CoA reductase that the liver uses to make cholesterol. So what does that mean? Well, basically the cholesterol, the vast majority of cholesterol produced by your body is produced through an enzymatic process that occurs in the liver. And so what statins do is they interfere with that enzymatic process, which then significantly lowers cholesterol levels. So this all sounds great until you begin to examine the potential side effects. Now, I know that Dr. Marcola is in a little bit hot water with regards to the government with some of his views on the pandemic, but that still doesn't take away from what he talks about with regards to cholesterol concerns. So he had an article called 5 Great Reasons Why You Should Not Take Statins. He's got more than 5, but here are his top 5. The first one is that statins reduce coenzyme Q10. Now, let's go back to that liver. Statins interfere with the enzymatic process of creating cholesterol. Well, that process where the statin drug interferes with it, that same pathway also creates coenzyme Q10 in the liver. And so what happens is that statin drug interferes not just with cholesterol formation in the liver, but also coenzyme Q10 formation in the liver. And coenzyme Q10 is an energy substance that every cell needs, especially your heart. So what they've seen with the use of statin drugs is that there's been a correlation that as statin drugs have been introduced into the marketplace and people using them, there has been an increase in congestive heart failure due to lack of coenzyme Q10. And you'll see in today's marketplace that many statin drugs now have a coenzyme Q10 component to it because the manufacturers are well familiar with this problem that statins not just interfere with cholesterol production in the liver, but also interfere with the coenzyme Q10 production in the liver. So now you usually supplement, if you're on a statin, you usually supplement with a coenzyme Q10 supplement. Secondly, statins reduce vitamin K2. We all understand the importance of vitamin K2 with regards to nitric oxide therapy. But vitamin K2 is extremely important in your body because it keeps calcium in your bones and regulates the release of calcium out of the bones into your vascular system. So if I reduce my vitamin K2 in my body because of statins, more calcium will be released into my bloodstream through the bones, which then allows for calcification of soft tissues, like your arteries, heart, lungs, kidneys. So again, this is a problem. 3, statins reduce ketone production. Well, reducing ketone production accelerates aging. There's an increased risk for cancer, breast cancer for women, prostate cancer for men. And then there's other reasons why: increased risk for diabetes. A common issue is muscular issues like pain and muscle wasting, and then an increased risk for cataracts. Also in this article from Dr. Marcola, he talks about neurodegenerative diseases. He brings this up because your brain needs cholesterol. In fact, 25% of your brain weight is in cholesterol. So if I'm reducing cholesterol, I'm affecting my brain, and the neurons in your brain also have a cholesterol component. You know, cholesterol is extremely important. Cholesterol is what keeps the cell membranes be able to have cell membranes have integrity. So if I didn't have cholesterol, I basically would be a pool of organic matter lying on a floor. So cholesterol is extremely important for cell membrane integrity. when you look at your brain, that's really important. So it's not surprising that people who are using statin drugs may experience some memory issues, cognitive function issues. And then he has this little thing here at the bottom, research from Penn State College of Medicine that found that statins were associated with an increased risk for Parkinson's disease. So this comes to the question, is there a natural alternative to addressing cholesterol? Well, there is, and it comes from a specific fruit, citrus. This citrus, I'm not sure if I'm going to say this next word correctly, Bergamont riso. You can only find it in certain locations around the world. But there is an ingredient in this bitter fruit that blocks an enzyme in your liver that needs to produce LDL cholesterol. But where it blocks it, it doesn't have any additional side effects. So this fruit, the specific ingredient, blocks the production of LDL cholesterol in your liver at a different point than what statin drugs do. And because of that, you don't have the coenzyme Q10 problem, and you also don't have side effects. Now, this has been studied. Let me go back here. But before I go into some of the studies on this specific fruit, the Synergy Worldwide, the Hughes Center for Research and Development, the scientists that were there, they began to look at this issue to find an alternative solution to statin drugs from a natural standpoint to be able to control cholesterol and make a positive difference in people's cholesterol levels within their body. They had multiple formulations. One of them was what's called F105. That was so successful in helping to reduce cholesterol levels that they were able to publish that study. It was published in the Canadian Journal of Physiology and Pharmacology. And F105 is the basis for metabolic LDL. Additionally, you can find other studies with regards to the bergamot extract. This is taken from Cleveland Clinic. Cleveland Clinic here in the United States, because I have people on today's call that are in other countries besides the United States. But here in the United States, the Cleveland Clinic is one of the most respected health organizations in the United States, especially when it comes to heart disease. So there's a study that they talked about, published in 2013 from the International Journal of Cardiology, where they had 77 patients who took 1,000 milligrams of bergamot extract daily over a 30-day period. The average cholesterol dropped from 278 down to 191, significant reduction. They also found in that study that people who are using the bergamot extract cut their dosage of cholesterol drugs in half without reducing its effectiveness, meaning that they could have half the dose and still be just as effective. And that's, again, huge because it reduces side effects. When you look at other things that are in here, American College of Cardiology, there are people who cannot use statin drugs because they have a severe reaction to it. And it doesn't matter the different forms, I should say different manufacturers of statin drugs, they have issues with it. So the American College of Cardiology has a list of natural ingredients that when consumed can have a positive effect in reducing LDL cholesterol within the body. And you can see that I have the bergamot one highlighted by a red arrow. And you can see that on average, bergamot extract just by itself reduces LDL cholesterol by 61 milligrams per deciliter. It's the best one of all the natural ingredients in helping to reduce LDL cholesterol. Now, there's other studies that are out there. This is, again, from the Journal of Cardiology, which, again, talks about using the bergamot extract for helping to lower LDL cholesterol. So the question is, how is this study and other ones that use just bergamot extract different from the one that was done by Dr. Tripp and the Hughes Center of Research and Innovation? And the difference is that Dr. Tripp and the scientists at the Hughes Center for Research and Innovation understand that it's more than just bergamot extract, that your body needs other ingredients in this process of not just reducing cholesterol, but helping to prevent what's called oxidized LDL cholesterol. Because it's oxidized LDL cholesterol that's the issue, not LDL cholesterol. You can have plenty of levels of LDL cholesterol in your body, and it's not going to create any harm until it gets oxidized. So they were interested in finding a product that could not just reduce cholesterol, but also prevent the oxidation of LDL cholesterol. And so what did they do? They were able to do a bunch of different formulations. F105 is the one that showed the best results. And they combined the bergamot fruit extract with other high antioxidant ingredients, 9 of them, that combination was highly effective in not just reducing cholesterol, but preventing the oxidation of cholesterol. So it's a pretty simple program. Take 2 capsules with dinner. Now, if a person wanted to be more aggressive because they're looking at that study that was using 1,000 milligrams of bergamot extract, well, if a person wanted to take 4 capsules on a daily basis, take 2 at lunchtime, take 2 with dinner. Bit more aggressive. Can't say that they would have better results because we don't have a study for it. But the probability is they would most likely see some additional significant improvements depending upon where they're at initially in their cholesterol levels. Now, these are benefits that, again, Synergy Worldwide has on their fact sheets information for this product. Modulates oxidation of LDL cholesterol, supports healthy cholesterol levels, features a powerful proprietary antioxidant blend. Now, if you've never seen this individual, Dr. Dwight Lundell, he has a YouTube video called The Truth About Heart Disease and Cholesterol. And it's a great video to watch. It's long, almost 26 minutes. The last 6 minutes of his video, he really gets into the heart of what he wants to address. Because so often the medical community tries to reduce cholesterol levels because they look at cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, as the culprit. And Dr. Lundell wants you to understand that it's not cholesterol that's the issue. The issue is sugar. So here's the process of what's called atherosclerosis. On the left, you have normal lining of your vascular system. We all know that that lining is called the endothelium. And so over time, the endothelium gets damaged. That damage usually gets treated through plaque formation. And as that damage continues to occur, plaque continues to grow. And that plaque begins the process where you get occlusion, potential blocked artery. And what Dr. Lundell is telling us through his video is that blood sugar is the real problem, not cholesterol. Now, cholesterol is involved in this, but it's not what starts the problem. So as what Dr. Lundell shares with us is that all your cells in your body have the ability to regulate their uptake of cholesterol, except for endothelial cells. Endothelial cells can't regulate the uptake of sugar, blood glucose. So if you have high blood glucose levels, you're bombarding the cells of the endothelium with glucose, putting more glucose into those cells and what they can handle. The mitochondria then react to that. That creates free radicals. Those free radicals escape. They begin to then attack LDL cholesterol to oxidize it. Your immune system then reacts to it, and your immune system, to contain the damage, creates this plaque. And so the continued growth of plaque has everything to do with, again, sugar, high sugar levels, creating oxidative stress to the endothelium, causing this free radical damage, which then causes LDL cholesterol to become oxidized. Your immune system responds to it, and you again continue this growth of plaque formation over time. So the real issue is blood sugar. People need to address that. Now, as you're going to see in the research on this product for F105, that is really metabolic LDL, you're going to see some significant things when I come to it. But before we do that, we need to understand that we have another market, anti-aging. It's a billion-dollar market. People don't want to get old. People understand that they are going to get old, but if they can slow down the aging process, or if they can be healthier at older ages, that's what they want to do. There's the free radical theory of aging. Basically, what that is that most aging is caused by inflammation. Most inflammation is caused by free radicals. A free radical is a molecule that's missing an electron in their outer orbit. So they're unstable. And they're going to steal an electron from another molecule to stabilize themselves. Once they do that, they create a new free radical. And you get this cascading effect. Free radical steals an electron, creates a new free radical, steals an electron, creates a new free radical, until finally the last free radical steals an electron from a cell membrane. Free radicals stabilize, but the cell membrane experiences damage. And if you've got a bunch of free radicals that have been created causing all this final damage, you get inflammation. And inflammation is the underlying cause of almost every disease, as well as the aging process. So, an antioxidant is a molecule that gives away an electron in their outer orbit. Now, you might think, okay, if an antioxidant gives away an outer electron in their orbit, doesn't that make them a free radical? The beauty of an antioxidant is that they can stay stable whether they have an even number or an odd number of electrons in their outer orbit. So an antioxidant can give away an electron, stabilize a free radical, stop it from doing any further damage or creating another free radical, and the antioxidant stays stable, and now you stop damage to the cell membrane and you stop the inflammation process. Well, again, we come back to these 9 fruits and vegetables. They all have extremely high ORAC values. What's ORAC? ORAC is just a scientific name to demonstrate or look at how effective that ingredient is as an antioxidant. The higher the ORAC value, the more powerful the antioxidant is. And what they found in their studies is that the combination of these 9 fruits and vegetables combined with the bergamot fruit extract, that individually all of them had high ORAC values, but when brought together synergistically, they were much more powerful synergistically as an antioxidant than what they were as an individual ingredient. So this combination significantly addresses inflammation caused by free radical damage. Now, here is the study results. They had 11 subjects between the ages of 38 and 65. And when you looked at their 12-week period, and they took just 2 tablets on a daily basis with dinner for a 12-week period, when you look at the results after 12 weeks, you can see them on the screen, anywhere from a 7.3% reduction to a 26% reduction in the cholesterol versus HDL. Those are nice reductions. But when you look at the subgroup that was part of the study, the 8 individuals that had high A1C levels, they were diabetic. When you looked at them, because of their high sugar levels in their bloodstream, you can see that the results of the study were more impactful for them than the other people. Especially, you can see here the second line, 19% reduction in oxidized LDL, a 25% reduction in oxidized LDL versus HDL. HDL is important because HDL, high-density lipoprotein, cholesterol, helps to remove the LDL cholesterol back to the liver for processing. So you can see that metabolic LDL for a person who has high blood sugar levels is even more impactful in lowering cholesterol, especially oxidized LDL cholesterol. And so, again, if from a marketplace standpoint, we have a product that can significantly help people find an alternative solution to lowering their cholesterol through a natural ingredient, give them an alternative that if they're on statins, maybe they want to look at this as an alternative. And if they're a diabetic who's on statins, we have a product that can significantly help them modulate their blood sugar levels from having an impact in creating free radicals that can cause cellular damage, leading to inflammation, leading to plaque formation. Well, here we got a product with a good antioxidant level that can help people to significantly reduce that and help to slow that process down for them. And my final thought before we open this up for any questions that you might have is, again, this is a great product for people who have diabetes, because diabetes typically lowers the good cholesterol, which is the HDL cholesterol, while increasing triglycerides and bad cholesterol. Let's go back to the slide. What did you see in metabolic LDL? A 27% reduction in triglycerides. That's huge. Well, if I increase the bad cholesterol and triglycerides and reduce the good cholesterol, that increases the risk for cardiovascular health issues. Their blood sugar is a concern. As we just talked about, that blood sugar can lead to inflammation of the endothelial cells so that more of the LDL cholesterol can be oxidized into LDL cholesterol, which then increases their probability of plaque formation within the vascular system. LDL, or the metabolic LDL product, again, clinically proven, especially for diabetics, to significantly reduce triglycerides, 25% reduction, 19% reduction in oxidized LDL, a 25% reduction in the LDL versus HDL, a 27% reduction in triglycerides versus HDL, a 25% reduction in oxidized LDL versus HDL. And I didn't take time, so I don't, if you ask me what PA, I'm not sure if that's L-1 is, I'd have to go research it, but 37% reduction in that parameter. It's got to be important, otherwise I wouldn't put it up there. But don't ask me because I didn't research it and I don't know what it stands for. So with that said, do I have any questions from anyone on today's presentation with regards to metabolic LDL?
Good morning, Dan. This is David.
Yes, David.
This is a great presentation. One of the things that I feel whenever I hear about metabolic LDL, although I take it myself, and it's always great that the way you break it down, is I always think to myself, how can I best present this to my clients in a way that would simplify the process. Now we understand what free radicals are and you know how the whole mechanism works, and we could look at it and study it and learn it. But when we try to translate it to someone else, it's a little bit more complex. So if I were to explain it in a layman's terms, how would you best recommend I do that?
Okay, good question, David. So I would talk in terms of, if you run across a person who has cholesterol issues, the first question, I would use a series of questions, David. I would ask them, are you on a statin drug? Yes. Any side effects? You know, don't tell them what their side effects are. Just ask them any side effects and let them talk. Have you ever thought about looking for a natural alternative? So whether they have side effects or whether they don't have side effects, the third question is still the same question. Have you ever thought about finding a natural way to address your cholesterol concerns? And that's going to be either a yes or no. If it's a no, would you be interested in finding a natural way? If it's a no, then they're not going to be a candidate to what you want to do. If they're saying yes, then one of the things you can do is send them a video, or you could talk to them. Well, there's a natural product in the marketplace that is highly effective in helping people not only lower their cholesterol, but actually address the real problem. The real problem is what's called oxidized cholesterol, which leads to plaque. And you know what plaque does in your system. It causes issues. So there's a natural product that's clinically proven to address that. I've got a great video that I could send to you that will help you better understand this. Would you like me to send it to you? And so, David, first off, before I go there, does that make sense what I've done so far?
Yes, it does. Mm-hmm.
Does that simplify it for you? I'm gonna give you another scenario, but does that simplify it for you so far?
It does. Again, the person I'm addressing it to needs to understand a little bit more about oxidized cholesterol and how oxidized cholesterol is created, and the results of oxidized cholesterol, which I believe you said are inflammation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if a person's on a statin drug, they're already educated for the most part, from the standpoint that their doctor put them on that because their cholesterol was too high.
Okay.
Right. So if you run into that conversation, you can say, okay, why did your doctor put you on the statin drug? Well, because my cholesterol is too high. All right. So he's most likely trying to, there's two cholesterols that he's looking at. Your really good cholesterol, HDL, and then what they call the bad cholesterol, LDL. And so that statin drug is trying to lower your LDL cholesterol because they think that's the problem. But LDL cholesterol is not the issue. It's what's called oxidized LDL. So next time you go to your doctor, ask them in their blood test to tell you how much oxidized LDL you have. Now, I want to get bogged down in the weeds here with you, but there's a natural product that specifically addresses helping to both lower your bad cholesterol as well as prevent that from being oxidized. And because of that, that product can significantly reduce the potential for any inflammation in your vascular system. And that inflammation can lead to plaque formation. So you can not only lower your cholesterol naturally, especially the bad cholesterol, but also prevent that from getting oxidized, leading to inflammation in your vascular system that typically then leads to plaque. And we don't want plaque inside our body. That's like you having to take care of your pipe in your sink, all that gunk that's in it. Nasty,
Well,
right?
Would you think that if I explained it in a way, especially to Hispanic community, and say, look, because as you know, rice is a staple with the Hispanic community. So if I say, if you cook your rice and follow instructions, typically it's going to come out okay. But if you leave the flame on and cause that flame to cook the rice for a long time, what's going to be results? Well, there's going to be a crust at the bottom of the pot where the heat caused the equivalent of a plaque formation. Would that be a good analogy?
That would be a great analogy, David, because then you could say that in your body, that heat is like free radicals causing damage. The rice is good until you overcook it. So that's the LDL cholesterol is the good rice, but when you overcook it, it becomes the oxidized bad cholesterol. And so, now there's a process here that I can help you from overcooking your rice.
Okay, got it. I'm just making sure I understand that. Yeah, because that's the best. One of the ways I could translate it in an understandable form. Mm-hmm. What happens when you do not control your cholesterol levels, mm-hmm. and why the doctor is giving you that statin to be able to lower in an indirect way, lower the heat or the inflammation in an induced way, which cause side effects. Whereas if it's a natural way, you cut it off you cut it off before it even starts becoming a problem naturally.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
Yeah, and David, you could even take that analogy of overcooking your rice to apply to the diabetics. Look, for all you diabetics out there, you all eat rice, and you know that when you overcook your rice, it not only becomes sticky, but you've got that hard film on the bottom of your pan. Mm-hmm. Well, that's like high blood sugar levels. Your high blood sugar is like leaving the flame on and overcooking your rice. Mm-hmm. So there's a product out there that can help address that issue so that you can make sure that your cholesterol, your LDL cholesterol, which is what the doctor's concerned about, it's why he's got you on the statin drug, but it's more than just the LDL cholesterol because that's your rice. If you cook it right, it's not an issue. When you cook it wrong, it becomes sticky, it becomes an issue, and that pan becomes difficult to clean.
Okay, Dan, I have another question. I don't want to monopolize this whole conversation because there might be another person with questions, but I know that Synergy guarantees their products. Now, yes. I know with Progenon Plus, I can say with all certainty and look at a person in the eye and say, look, I personally will give you your money back if you try for 120 days and it doesn't help.
Sure.
Now, with this product, would the same apply?
Yeah, all the products have. Well, okay, again, I'm making an assumption here. I'd have to ask on this. I'm assuming that all their products have the same guarantee to them. I don't know. I'd have to call. So just to make sure.
Just on that note, I'll just say that I know that my doctor tried to put me on statins a while back. And I know I was taking Progenon, but then after I had the conversation with you, we're talking about a couple of years back.
Sure.
I started taking it religiously, this LDL, metabolic LDL, and in my personal testimonial, next time I went to the doctor, my cholesterol levels were fine, which prevented me from going on, the statins. So in my personal testimonial, I could look at a person and say, it worked for me, it worked for you, but certainly it's if it's something that Synergy endorses that we can say we guarantee it, that's even stronger. But just out of curiosity, I wanted to ask you.
Sure. And then, David, I want to finish up on this, that if you decide either through social media or you're talking to the person and they want the video, again, go to oursynergyfamily.com. This is a whole marketplace. So, we have dedicated pages to specific marketing strategies. As you can see, we have one for cholesterol concerns. When you click on that, it takes you into our product page for metabolic LDL. And if you scroll down here, this video that was done, I've never done a personal video on metabolic LDL. And the reason why I've never done a personal video on metabolic LDL is because the one done by Synergy Worldwide, when they used to give us really good scientific information, but done in a, not in an overwhelming way, but in a way that you can really understand. This video here, Synergy's metabolic LDL, again, copy URL, and you can send that URL link to the individual, and it will pull up their video.
See this black box
Give
right
me
here?
a second here.
Well, I'm going to show you something right now. Some people are concerned that they might have
To create metabolic LDL, our newest patent-pending formula, Synergy used a scientific approach that began with in-depth studies of circulatory health. This led us to focus on the molecular activity of cholesterol and cholesterol oxidation in the cardiovascular system. Not long ago, cholesterol was generally considered bad. Then, scientific discoveries created a distinction between good HDL and bad LDL cholesterol. Now, emerging science is shining a spotlight on oxidized LDL cholesterol as what really indicates your level of cardiovascular health. Cholesterol can become oxidized when exposed to free radicals within the body. This oxidized cholesterol can affect the healthy function of the circulatory system. Reducing cholesterol oxidation helps to support healthy cardiovascular aging and circulatory function. Synergy scientists began analyzing plants that were known for positively affecting cholesterol production and oxidation. They were able to see on a molecular level that the Bergamont orange had the power to support cholesterol levels already in the normal range. Bergamont oranges are bursting with polyphenols, naturally occurring antioxidants that scavenge free radicals from the body. Synergy sources its bergamot extract from the Calabria region of Italy, the ideal environment for these oranges to fully develop their active ingredients. Only the organically grown, hand-harvested bergamot oranges of Calabria are known to have the high levels of polyphenols necessary to provide cardiovascular benefits. And having been clinically studied, Synergy's source of patented bergamot extract is the most proven available. But we didn't stop there. Recognizing the potential of bergamot, our scientists then began studying the effects of combinations. They looked at how other antioxidant phytonutrients worked with the bergamot extract. They discovered a powerful blend of antioxidants that synergistically enhance bergamot's effect in the body. This is how the exclusive patent-pending formula of metabolic LDL was born. Finally, Synergy put it to the test. Clinical studies were conducted, and metabolic LDL was proven safe and effective. The results of the study showed clearly that metabolic LDL naturally supports healthy cholesterol levels already in the normal range and modulates the oxidation of LDL cholesterol. Support healthy cardiovascular aging with metabolic LDL, another exclusive product from Synergy Worldwide that helps you unlock your potential and achieve elite health.
So I decided to play it because it's only 2 minutes and 45 seconds. But again, that is one of the best videos that I've seen Synergy ever do. They've got some of their older videos are pretty good. But
all I could say, Dan, is you do pretty good presentations, but I think this one just outdid you.
Yeah, I mean,
it was excellent.
I should have just showed this video. We could have been done about 30 minutes ago, right?
Yeah, it's really good. I'm going to post it today on my Facebook page. It's excellent. Thanks.
Yeah. You're welcome, David. Anyone else with any questions for me before we say goodbye? Was that Timothy?
Yes, please. I've got a comment or two. You hear me better now?
I can hear you great.
Good. Like David, when the doctor give me a prescription and it got certain drugs on it for cholesterol, I tell the pharmacist, do not fill it. And I use LDL. And every time I go to the doctor, he says, oh, yes, your cholesterol is good, your this is good, but he doesn't know that I don't use the prescription drugs that he prescribed. I use the ones from Synergy. Number
Great.
2, when you said you simplified for David, you also simplified it for me when David asked that question. And thirdly, your last slide, the last line in the slide, it is PAI-1. PAI-1. You were a bit hesitant to what you thought it was.
Thank you.
I have a
You're
question.
welcome.
Go ahead.
Can you make this PowerPoint available to us?
Yes, I will. I'll convert this into a PDF, and then I'll make the PDF available to you. And that will go out in Tuesday's newsletter. So there'll be a link to it. And then what I'll do is I'll also put that up onto this page here. Anyone else with any questions or observations before we say goodbye?
One last question, Dan, if I may.
Uh-huh.
The reason the doctors prescribe the statin drugs is to control what? What does it do to the body to prevent a person from getting to the levels of cholesterol that are dangerous, but really doesn't control the cause?
So I think what you're asking me is, why do doctors prescribe statin drugs?
Yeah, what do statin drugs do in the body to take the person out of the dangerous levels?
So statin drugs interfere with the liver's ability to create cholesterol.
Okay.
So there's an enzymatic process that occurs in the liver, and that end result of that enzymatic process is producing coenzyme Q10, and then down that enzymatic process, the final thing is creating cholesterol, LDL cholesterol. And so the statin drug interferes in that chain of enzymatic processes that create both CoQ10 and LDL cholesterol. So they're using a statin drug to interfere with the liver's ability to create cholesterol, because most of your cholesterol is created by your liver.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't necessarily come from your food.
The side effects will be that you're altering the function of the liver, the natural function of the liver.
Well, that's part of the side effect. So you reduce the amount of cholesterol in your body. Again, LDL cholesterol, as the video from Synergy Worldwide talked about, LDL cholesterol is not the problem. Mm-hmm. It's oxidized LDL cholesterol that's the problem. So cholesterol is necessary for cell membrane integrity. Your body is held together by cholesterol. So 25% of your brain weight is cholesterol. Cholesterol is every cell in your body, the membrane of the cell needs cholesterol to hold it together. And so if I reduce my cholesterol levels to such an extreme, I'm beginning to affect cognitive function. I'm beginning to affect nerve impulses. I'm beginning to affect my organ systems, my cell integrity. And now if I don't address oxidized cholesterol, again, you got to address the real problem. And for a long time, doctors have said that it's bad cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, that's the issue. No, it's oxidized LDL cholesterol that's the issue. And that's why, this product is so effective, because it's addressing the real issue, which is oxidized cholesterol. If you go back to, in my presentation, if you go back into, this video from Dr. Lundell, I mean, he talks about it. He talks about how sugar impacts the endothelial cells, creates all these free radicals because they get overloaded. Those free radicals are then what causes the oxidation of the LDL cholesterol. Your macrophages of your immune system then get involved in this, and so they then impact by creating plaque to contain that oxidized LDL cholesterol. And then over time, this just continues to get worse and worse because people aren't addressing the underlying problem, which is high sugar levels in their bloodstream.
Okay.
So that would go back.
Dan.
That would go back to your showing,
rice
talking
rice.
Yeah. So I'm telling
analogy.
if you're getting sticky rice with a big hard film on the bottom every day that you make it, you're overcooking your rice.
Right.
All you diabetics,
Correct.
you're wondering why your vascular system is overcooked with all this gunk. It's because you've got high blood sugar. It's like leaving the heat on your rice. You keep spoiling your rice every day. Why do you want to keep spoiling the inside of your vascular system every day? Turn the heat down on your rice. Turn the sugar intake down.
Excellent, Dan. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else before we say goodbye? All right, some great questions. Thank you, everyone. See you next Saturday. Have a great, blessed weekend. Bye-bye.